We sprung forward an hour today as well. And High Flyer, I'm feeling it a little bit right now, man. This was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was, Jay. I mean, excuse me.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, you can call me Jay Scott today, right? We're still trying to get our bearings.
No, just talked to Jason a hot second ago. But, definitely a quick turnaround, early game. I like early games in this arena, man, because
I do too.
This arena was built for this.
It is.
The way you have it to where you can go out into the dojo and have something to eat and enjoy yourself, walk around. The sun is out. The sun is shining inside the arena. I mean, this place is built for day games.
You're so right about that. There is a good buzz already outside the arena. The game's officially a sellout today. Not that that's a surprise because most every game's been a sellout this year. But to your point, the Sunday afternoon games are really popular. Just a little tougher than usual with the hour change today.
The hour change definitely threw a wrench in it, man. Believe me. I had my day set, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's right. Up an hour. Let me get out of here.
But we're ready to go, and we are looking forward to it. And the Kings looking forward to an opportunity to get their first win against the Rockets this season. It was tough sledding. I know you still are bitter about those two losses in Houston to start out the year. We'll talk all about that, but of course we've got to focus in on Thursday night first, and what a thriller here against the Spurs. Kings up 20, they lose the lead, looks like they're going to lose for sure, and then all of a sudden they come roaring back. Malik Monk with that huge three, and Sabonis the steal of the year, and I guess the saying a win is a win comes to play from Thursday night.
Scott, first of all, let me say this. Definitely happy that miraculously the Kings pulled that one off and won. But it's starting to become a real big question to me about how this team can get up 20 and how this team can let a team back in.
Yeah, a team without Wemby, another non-winning team, 13-48 coming into the game, or 12-48.
Scott, I'm just saying a team. I'm not even talking about the profile of the team. Talk about a team. We'll let them back in the game. We've had a couple of games where we went up 20 twice and let the teams back in.
Yeah.
Now, in order for this team to do what they want to do, this team wants to get better. This team wants to be a contender. This team wants to be, playoff known to where, okay, we're going to be in the playoffs. Man, you cannot do things like that and think that you're going to be a contender in this league. It's not going to happen.
No doubt. And again, the topsy-turvy season for the Kings continue. They play great at LA, get the road win against the Lakers, only to come back to almost falter against the Spurs. But first, we have to say it was a dramatic comeback. And Malik Monk, that huge three to tie things up, that was clutch. And Sabonis came out of nowhere to get that steal.
I mean, it's one of those games to where everything that could happen to San Antonio did. And then, like I said, the Kings have to be very, very lucky and grateful that they were able to get that game, especially where they are right now. How the Sacramento Kings are trying to fight to stay in the hunt to really make it into this playoff run.
Yeah.
They need every game that they can possibly muster up. And that game right there was looking like a horrible loss.
It would have been a horrible loss. As it is, the Kings are 10 games above 500, 36-26. They are in the sixth spot at the moment, with Phoenix losing to Boston yesterday. So we'll get into all of that. I do want to follow up from Thursday, though. I wasn't at the game. Pop was hot at the end of that game. Two things. First, did you think he was going to call a timeout in the play that led up to the Sabonis steal after Monk hit the three? They had a timeout. Game was tied. I really thought Pop would take a timeout when they crossed midcourt. I was surprised he didn't. And then afterwards, him and Mike Brown talked quite a bit.
Yes,
had a real interesting conversation. Pop was unhappy. I don't know if you were able to gather what that was all about.
You know what? Couldn't tell too far away. It was way up here. But I can agree with you. The conversation was very heated.
Yeah.
Because he was going at the referee first.
Yep.
And then once he got done with the referee, he went and engaged with Mike, had a long talk with Mike.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know if you've seen that, but after that, the talk went on with Doug Christie and a couple of other Sacramento Kings assistant coaches. And then he returned and went back to his locker room.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to ask Mike that in our pregame presser, but I would love to follow back with that. But it was interesting in that situation that the Spurs did not take a timeout. And I understand coaches like to let their team play out, not let the other team set up defense. But obviously, they were reeling a little bit after the Kings had scored 5 to tie that game back at 129 with a younger team on the floor.
Yeah, Kings dodged the bullet.
They did.
That's all I can say is they dodged the bullet. I honestly thought they played decent basketball. Was able to get up 20 on a young team, a 100-man team. Did exactly what they needed to do. But somewhere, somehow, they let teams back in the game. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, if the Kings would have just rolled this all the way out, now they're starting to figure out how to close games.
Yeah.
You really, Scott, have to understand how to close out a game, how to finish a team once you get them down. Teams shoot the ball way too well from the three-point line to be lackadaisical. Take your foot off the accelerator and let these teams back in the game. Because when you do that, then all of a sudden the game is tied with 4 minutes left.
Yep.
Hey, it's a coin flip who's going to win.
It is. And with De'Aaron Fox having fouled out,
right,
makes it a lot more difficult.
Right. Your number one guy, fourth quarter Fox, foul out. Now it's like, who do we go to?
Yeah.
Better be thankful you got a cat like Malik Monk on your team.
No doubt. And let's give San Antonio their props because even though they have a not so good record, 12-48 coming into this game, they go into Golden State last night and beat the Warriors. Now the Warriors are without Steph Curry too. We'll touch on that. Let's talk about Mike Brown, what he did say after the game. Here was his quote. High Flyer, and I know you heard this after the game on Thursday.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to
okay, well, this is what he had to say. He goes, quote, "We can't accept the way that we played. Now, we take the win, but we can't accept the way that we played and think that everything is going to be okay going forward. But at the end of the day, the way we defended, the way we turned the ball over and responded to those turnovers, that can't fly. And we have to continue to learn and grow so we don't keep putting ourselves in a position like we were."
He understands. Mike did been to the mountaintop. Scott, it's a simple recipe to the finals. It's a simple recipe for productivity. It's a simple recipe for success. And playing consistent basketball is going to have to be one. That's the root to the gumbo. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to have a good taste in gumbo. You have to be able to play consistent. And the Kings, for all it's worth, they're playing better than last year. They're 10 games above 500. I'm loving all of that. I really am. I'm loving all of that. But we're talking about for this team to get to where they want to be as a goal, they got to play more consistent basketball.
No doubt. All right, our look at Mike Brown, his comments, brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. It's interesting. If you look at offense and defensive rating, the Kings have slid to 12th in offensive rating now. They were hovering 6, 7 for a while. They're now not even top 10. Defensively, they're still low 20s. They're 22nd as we speak right now. So to your point, and again, everybody asked this question, are they truly playing better than they were a year ago at this time? Record's pretty comparable.
I will say this, Scott. I think the basketball team is still playing good basketball. I think everybody in the West that struggled last year, all the injuries, everything that went on in the West. Think about this. And I was thinking about this on the right up here, Scott. Yeah. Us for so long as Kings fans, we've always said, when is it going to go right for us? When is everything going to go right for us? That was last year.
Yeah.
That was our everything went right for us. Fell into the right situation. Kings played the right style of basketball. Mm-hmm. You had injuries. You had teams that were down, teams that fell out. Everything fell the Kings' way. We clipped that 16-year drought. We made it to the playoffs. Everything was great. This year, it's a different story. Everything that went wrong last year didn't go wrong this year.
Yeah.
We've had some injuries. We've had guys out of other basketball games. We've lost some basketball games. We've blown some basketball games. So with all that being said, I still think this team is playing good basketball. They're not great.
Yeah.
So they are who they are.
That's a very fair assessment. They are 36-26. They are currently in the 6th seed, which would be a playoff spot in the Western Conference. The Rockets come in today. They're 28-35. They still have an outside shot, believe it or not, at the play-in. The Warriors are 33-30. Curry's out at the moment. The ankle turn on Thursday. MRI didn't reveal anything that serious. He should be back shorter than later. But potentially, could the Rockets, 5 games back of the Warriors with about 19 games to go? I mean, I think they're still thinking today they've got an outside chance of getting into a play-in situation.
You know, Scott, let me tell you this. First of all, with their personnel, I love the young guns. The young guns, they're not scared. They've had some success. Those young boys play hard. And then the coaching from Ime Udoka. You know, he's a descendant from Pop, okay? The thing about it is that he has his basketball team to where they're not going to ever quit. They're going to play until the last horn sounds. That's a scary thing when you have a lot of young talent that have fun playing together, and then they start having some success. Now you got a coach that's like, hey, we're going to play. We're going to play hard until the wheels fall off. It's tough. We just seen that in San Antonio. San Antonio, best guy was out. But think about it. We've always said Popovich is going to get the best out of every last one of those guys, and he does that. Ime does the exact same thing. That's the way he coaches. So, you know, to think that Houston's going to come in and lay down tonight, you better think again.
Not going to happen. And again, it's another situation with the Kings playing a team below 500 at home. You would think the odds favor them, but we've seen that it's been a challenge for the Kings at times this season. All right, we'll take the break. When we come back, we will break down the Rockets. They are an interesting mix of youth and veteran players. Of course, Dylan Brooks in the house. He's warming up now. He's one of the most controversial, at times hated players in the NBA. We'll touch on him. And then their center, Alfred Sengun, at 21 years old. He is being called the new Joker. We'll touch on that too. It's Kings game day right here. We're coming to you live from the Golden One Center. Game day, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Power Business Technology. Experience how the power of family can help you with all your business copier needs. Give them a call today, 844-POWER-BZ, or go to powercopiers.com. More of Game Day right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on for Ram Truck Month, Chad?
Well, we're celebrating with the biggest savings of the year on new 2024 Ram 1500 Laramie Limited. I can barely believe it, but right now you can save up to $16,000 off MSRP on one of America's most loved trucks.
Did you say $16,000 off MSRP?
Yep. And we have California's biggest selection of new Ram trucks with over 500 available. Big savings and big selection. That's what's made us California's #1 Ram truck dealer.
Hey, if you're looking for a truck, Hoblet should be your first and only stop to get the truck you need at the price you want. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,012 savings on select new 2024 Ram Laramie Limiteds after 1086 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 1,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from authorized case dealer and 500 first responder cash for current members of eligible First Responder Association. Sample VIN 203287. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by California Army National Guard, Nature Wood Home Furnishings, and RVs of Sacramento.
Welcome back to the game day right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Kings and Rockets today, third meeting between these two teams. The Rockets blew out Sacramento back in November. That was those back-to-back games early in the year. The Kings were without De'Aaron Fox and Trey Lyles in those games, so obviously they'll be different today, and obviously Houston's a different team as well. Let's focus in on the Rockets. They're a fun young team. As we said, the 5 games out of the play-in, they're not absolutely dead. You know, we always talk about the top 10, and we say it's 1 through 10. The Western Conference is incredible, and that is certainly the case. All 10 teams, including the Warriors, who are in 10th, are above 500 right now. But I don't know if you can completely count out the Rockets just yet. They're 28-35. It's a team that is getting better. They've obviously got some real talent out there, and the Rockets might be a team maybe we've underestimated a little bit this year.
You know what? I felt that all year, Scott. And, you know, to watch the Sacramento Kings walk into Houston and the way they played that first game, I was gritting my teeth. I'm like, ugh. But then we had a back-to-back there. 1 game off, 1 day off, had to play another game. I'm like, okay, the Kings will bounce back. Kings got smacked even harder that second game, you know.
Yep.
So when you look at what's going on right now, I'm pretty sure Houston is down there. I don't care what their record is. I'm pretty sure Houston is like, hey, fellas, we were able to smack them convincingly in our place. All we have to do is go in and play hard at their place and see what happens in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously those 2 games were some of the more disappointing games of the year. And I know you're still mad about those games.
I am, because I know for a fact, Scott, when it's all said and done, no matter where this team lines up, we're going to be looking at those 2 games saying, if we just took care of business with Houston early on, that those 2 games were the first 2 real games we looked at the Kings and said, oh, both of those are tough losses.
Yeah, no doubt. That was after they'd gone down and started tough against the Warriors as well early in the season. But obviously both teams very different right now. Let's talk about the Rockets. And, you know, we could start in a lot of different areas, but I think you start with Alperen Sengun, their terrific 21-year-old
he's
center.
Killing it. He is killing it.
He's a triple-double machine of his own right now, and a lot of people are comparing him to a mini Joker, even a Sabonis-like player.
You know what? I actually was listening to, I don't know if it was Sports Center or ESPN or TNT, but they said something that really offended me, and it wasn't even about me, Scott. It was about that young kid there.
Yeah.
They're going to call him a poor man's Jokic. And I'm like, what are you guys, a poor man's Jokic?
Yeah, there's nothing poor about him.
Nothing poor about this dude. This dude's game, and I'm going to keep it just on the game, because I know they weren't talking about financially.
Sure.
I'm like, this dude can play. What are you talking about, poor man? Look at the numbers he's putting up.
Yep.
This dude has a game of his own. He plays with a style of his own. Now, just because they're 2 Europeans, and I would say both of them aren't the most athletic guys around, but how are you going to call this man a poor man's Joker? You better get this young man his flowers. This dude can play.
He can. He's averaging 21.2 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 5 assists, over a steal a night. He's just 21 years old. He had a triple-double in Wednesday's game against the Clippers, a game in which they led by 20. They lost that lead. They've won 3 of the last 4. Or they would have won 4 in a row if they'd won that game, although they did lose to the Clippers on Wednesday. But in that game, he had 23, 19, and 14. This is a guy who's really finding his groove, and a lot of people who have thought he maybe deserved to be on the All-Star team.
Hey, you know what? A lot of guys deserve to be on that All-Star team.
Sure.
It's tough.
We know of a couple.
Right. It's tough in the West. But how many years has this young man played?
Second year.
This is his second year, and the things that he is doing, and he's going to get better. That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
He is going to get better. We're just scratching the surface of what he can do. He's getting very comfortable out there. The numbers he's putting up, and I like the way he plays inside himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to do things that he can't do. I'm pretty sure he knows he's limited athletically, but he plays to his strength the same way that Joker does.
Yeah.
Joker knows he don't have above the rim game. He can't come flying out the air and taking over games like that. So he doesn't. He just does what he does well.
Anytime you're being compared to the Joker, you're doing something right because there's not higher praise in the NBA. All right, Jalen Green, another guy who's a high flyer, young kid. He has had some vicious dunks of late. I mean, it's just been incredible the way he's been playing above the rim right now.
Scooter, of late, he was rim rattling last year.
True.
I like the way this young kid plays. You know what? I love when I see young talent come into the NBA and, especially Green. Green was put in a situation to where, okay, this is your team. They gave him the keys early.
Yep.
And say, we're going to go as you go. But this young man, he isn't scared. And I love when you come into the NBA because, it's very daunting when you come into the NBA and you see all of these guys that you got on your wall and you're right next to them.
Yeah.
You could easily just, fall into a shell and say, okay, I might not be in the right spot. Jay Green ain't like that.
No.
He's coming. He's going at each and every last one of these players. And he's going hard. The dude is talented.
He is very talented. He does have to pick up just some shooting numbers. He's about 42% from the field, 32% from three. And I think
that's because he ain't saw a shot that he don't like.
That's true. That is true. There are no red lights in front of Jalen Green.
No.
Very good point. So they got the great couple of young players to build around, and then they've got the veterans with Brooks and Van Vliet. Let's talk about Dylan Brooks. He might be the number one villain in the NBA, and he relishes that role. He loves to come out and be the guy who stirs it up, and he's not intimidated by anybody.
He likes that rule, but Draymond Green is the king.
And it's funny you mentioned that because Mike Brown in the pregame press conference, who did he refer Dylan Brooks to?
Draymond.
Yep, he said they're very similar. And he loves players like that because when he was obviously the assistant coach with the Warriors, Draymond was that guy who wouldn't take it from anybody else and set that presence that other teams knew it was going to be a rough day playing against the Warriors.
You know why coaches like players like that, Scott? Because, first of all, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
They are very hard to find a player that's not going to take no crap from nobody, who's going to hold everybody accountable, and the guy that's going to do the dirty work for the team. Those guys are valuable. I was surprised that they got rid of Dylan Brooks, but I understood why.
Yeah.
But I knew any team would love to have a guy like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Draymond Green. Draymond Green's antics are over the top.
Yeah.
But let's keep it real, Scott. Draymond got 4 rings.
Yeah.
His antics got him 4 rings. So if you ask me, has he been successful? No doubt.
No doubt. And the antics are one thing, but these are very good basketball players on top of it. So the antics you can get away with from time to time, and sometimes it even helps set a tone if we're being honest about it. But the bottom line is Dylan Brooks is a very good guard in this league.
He is, Scott. And I'm going to tell you, and sometimes it's not more the antics, right? Because we had a guy here and other guards were just straight out scared of him. Ron Artest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Other guards were just straight scared of this dude. So just with that mindset alone, he might not even do nothing to you.
Yeah.
Might play a perfect game, but it's in him.
Yeah, absolutely. And again,
and those guys are in your head and they're scared.
Yep. As Mike Brown talked about it again in the press conference, just the vibe that players put off. When you look at the other side, it's going to be a rough day because you're going to have to deal with this guy for 48 minutes.
Scott, Kobe and Mike did the same thing. I mean, you would check in a game and Mike would just stare at you like he was just like you robbed his house. I mean, Kobe Bryant had teammates that he even talked to.
Yeah.
I was listening to Smush Parker. He said he spent 2 years with Kobe, started with Kobe. He said, me and Kobe never had a conversation.
Wow.
My locker was right next to his.
Yeah, wow.
But that's just the way a lot of guys are.
Yeah.
They want you to fear them.
Yeah. Yeah, Dylan Brooks doesn't. The Kings will have to contend. Sacramento looking for their first win against the Rockets. When we come back, we're going to go around the league. So many fun things going on throughout the NBA. Luka the Don doing historical things again, 6 straight triple-double games with 30-plus points. We'll break that all down. As we said, the Warriors losing last night at home to San Antonio. It looked like the Steve Kerr lookalike was coaching the Warriors last night. We'll talk about that as well. It's game night, and it's coming to you live here at Golden One Center. It's brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. If you are looking to become a mentor to a kid in need in our community, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, a tremendous cause. So many kids in our area could use an outside mentor. Give Big Brothers, Big Sisters a call, 916-646-9300, or visit bbbs-sac.org. That's bbbs-sac.org to learn all about becoming a volunteer mentor. More of Game Day right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports at SacktownSports.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
For beginning golfers, not getting into bad habits gives you a much better chance of enjoying the game and shooting lower scores. John Howells in Golf Monthly says these mistakes should be avoided. First, know your club distances. Take your yardages not from your best or worst shot, but somewhere in the middle. And no dancing allowed. Swaying in the backswing is a common fault, which forces you to compensate in the downswing. Mastering impact. Trust the loft on the club face and don't try to lift the ball. Club face control. For right-handers, take care to set the perfect grip with 2 V's between thumb and forefinger pointing to your right shoulder. Bunker shots. Many struggle here because they fail to open the club face before hitting the shot. Turn the club before you take your grip. And finally, learn how to read greens and hole more putts. Even on a miss, putts that miss above the hole offer more chance of holding the putt. Now go out and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey guys, do you know your T level? Revive Men's Health here in Sacramento is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Sacramento at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip. Brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back into Game Day right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer, Henry Turner. It's a Sunday afternoon game inside the Golden One Center, Kings and Rockets. The sun is out. People are all in the Doco having a great time. And as Henry said earlier, this is what it's all about when they built this downtown arena, a celebration of not just one of the best, if not the best arenas in the NBA, but the whole area that has been built up, so many restaurants, fun things to do around here, the congregation area just outside the area, everybody enjoying themselves and just celebrating life, and the fact that we have a Kings game coming up in about an hour from now. Game night being brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. Hi, Flair, I can tell you that the whole crew from National Garage Door is going to be here today. They're going to be in a suite. They're going to be rooting on the Kings today.
Nice.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing Kevin and the gang from National Garage Door a little bit later on. Let's go around the league. Let's talk about Luka and what he's doing now. His numbers are incredible. He's doing something that even Wilt's not doing. And every time we put out a record, we compare it to Wilt. But this is something that he owns on his own now. 6 straight triple-doubles, scoring 30 points in each of those games. Last night against the Pistons, he went for 39, 10, and 10. The Mavs are 36 and 28. They're looking up at the Kings. They're in the 8th spot in the play-in situation. Is what Luka is doing right now so great that we should be talking about him in the MVP conversation?
Oh, for sure. But you know what, Scott? It's hard for me to say that because, honestly, I don't like Luka's game. I really don't. Usually, I can separate the two. You know, being an analyst, I can separate the two. But Luka cries so much for me that he cries and complains and begs so much in a basketball game. It really takes away from me really having the eye to enjoy what he does out there on the floor. He cries every play. He don't take even when he makes the shot, he still cries. Now, I can look at the numbers and say, yes, he is killing it. The things that he's doing, whenever you put in the conversation of Wilt, you know you're among greatness. And he's got his team winning, but I do not like watching him play.
I hear you. Well, the Mavs are a new-look team. Obviously, they got Kyrie last year. He's healthy again, and they went out and got P.J. Washington and Derek Gafford. So they've got some inside players now. Can the Mavs make a run this year?
I think so. You know, I tell you what, as much as I don't like Luka's game, you know I love me some Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
I think Kyrie Irving is still a freak in this game. And then when you put some guys together, like a PJ, all right?
Yep.
PJ is going to be, you know, the enforcer. He's going to be a guy that's going to do the dirty work and some other guys around. Now you just don't have, you know, a two-trick pony. You got guys that's going to come together. They're going to complement each and every one of them as a team.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see where they can go. Obviously, the Kings will be keeping close eye on the Mavericks. And by the way, Luka, to your point, he has more T's than anybody in the league, 14. He's a couple of away from potentially losing a game if he were to get 16 in the regular season. Spurs, as we mentioned, they came in here, almost beat the Kings. They go down to Golden State yesterday, and they beat the Warriors 126-113. It's the first win of the year they've had without Wemby playing. They're now 1-8 without Wemby. The Warriors without Curry are now 0-4.
What do I say about Pop's team? Never bet against black.
Yep.
Pop get those guys to play, and he gets them to play well, and they play hard. So if you come in and you're slipping at any little bit, the San Antonio Spurs might get you.
No question, and they did. The Warriors are in the 10th spot right now at 33-30. They got the great news that Steph Curry's ankle roll was not anything serious. Nothing showed up on the MRI. He's being reevaluated on Tuesday. But again, if he's out for any period of time, as we talked about, with this Rocket team in right now, 5 games back, could the Warriors slip that far?
You know, it's a bad time to lose your number one guy. It's a bad time to lose your number one guy because right now we talk about the Kings and how every game is crucial for them. Well, it's crucial for everybody that's up under the Sacramento Kings also.
For sure.
You know, everybody needs those last games. And if you start slipping and your number one guy is out, it's bad.
I just saw a high flyer dunk on the video board here. Not that they haven't shown it before, but that was sweet.
Yeah, and they slowed it down.
And there's another reverse layup action. We got the high flyer hour going on here. I love it.
Hey, the limited time that kid used to get, he used to make the most out of it. I can tell you that.
Oh, and it's Slamson's birthday here, too. I wonder how old the Slammer is. Let's see. The King started at 85, so I'm guessing he's 39.
No.
40? No, 36, 35. When did the Slammer first start? At the new arena?
No, the Slammer came in 1989.
Okay. At the Arco 2.
No, Arco 1. Yeah, Arco 2.
Yep.
Because you remember before that, the Gorilla used to be our mascot.
Right.
He used to come and do all of our games.
Okay.
And then Slammer came, I think, in 89.
Yeah. All right, so that would make him 35.
Wait.
We'll ask the Slammer at some point. I don't know what he's doing up there. It looked like he was hanging off a cliff on the video board here.
I was about to say, don't he know lions don't do well in the air?
That looks scary to me. But anyways, happy birthday, Slammer. And it was great to see your highlights, too. That was pretty cool. Other games from yesterday, Celtics beating the Suns 117-107. KD went for 45. It wasn't enough against Boston. Again, the Suns are without Booker, another team without one of their big pieces. Don't know how long he's going to be missing time, but the Suns fell to 7. The Kings leapfrogged them as Sacramento a game ahead of Phoenix. What do you make of the Suns going down the stretch, especially with all their health concerns they've had all season long?
Scott, that's number one. Number one is your health, bro. If you can have all these superstars you want, if you don't have them at your disposal, that means nothing. And right now, we've seen how KD is playing. KD is playing some great basketball, but he's not playing enough to where he can get it done by himself. He needs those other guys. If D-Book ain't out there, it hurts. If Bradley Beal isn't out there, it hurts. KD is on the island by himself.
Yeah, no doubt. And Boston just continues to dominate things on the Eastern Conference. As close as the Western Conference is, the East is not. The Celtics will be the number 1 seed. They're 8 games up on the Cavs with 19 to go. So that one's solidified. Talking about injuries, obviously Big Cat's going to miss at least a month. Can the Timberwolves hang on to a top 4 without Big Cat?
Another thing, Scott, those injuries, let me tell you something. Where's some wood at?
Knock on it hard, yep.
With both hands, going to knock on wood for this Sacramento Kings team to be healthy, because when you lose your main guy and you trying to make a push, even the ones that's at the top, losing Cat, they're going to drop, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how far, but they'll still be able to win some games, but they're not going to play the exact same style without Cat.
No doubt. They are in second right now. They're tied with the Nuggets. The Thunder a half game ahead, 44-19. The Clips are right there knocking on the door. They only have 21 losses. By the way, that Anthony Edwards block on Thursday night, where do you put that in terms of some of the great blocks you've seen?
Bro, he's number 1 or 2.
Unbelievable. His head hit the rim at the end of the game to save the game with a left-handed block.
Now, I will say this. I do know how he got up that high. He usually don't jump that high.
Yeah.
How he got up that high. He took off, and his man pushed him even higher because I don't know who he was, because there was 2 guys being guarded.
Yeah.
He came over. When he took off, whoever else was up under him took off and pushed him even higher and made him able to block that shot. But, man, his head
hit the rim.
Boy, hit up under the rim.
Yeah.
I'm like,
unbelievable. That was a game winner.
Very
just
impressive.
A great track down from Anthony Edwards.
Very
ceiling just seems like it's unstoppable right now. All right, games going on in the league today. Let's check out the action on a Sunday in the National Basketball Association. You've got a good one between the Bucks and the Clips. Of course, Milwaukee is going to be here on Tuesday. The lone appearance for Giannis and Lillard. Looking forward to that. They are leading in LA right now, 103-98. This Milwaukee team has taken a lot of fire. Obviously, they fired their coach. Are they a better team, you think, since Doc Rivers has taken over?
No, I really can't say they're better, Scott. I would say that they're starting to learn each other. He still has the same team. He still has the same guys. They still have the same potency. The only thing he's doing is getting those guys to play together and getting those guys to learn one another. That's it.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see them on Tuesday. I'm really interested to see them for the first time, especially with the Lillard-Giannis combination. Obviously, the Kings had a heartbreaker on the road. Lillard went Dame time on the Kings in overtime. That was a tough one to watch for sure. Also today, speaking of the Ant-Man, the T-Wolves are in LA to take on the Lakers. The Lakers, as we speak right now, are in the 9th spot. They're 35-30. They're 5 games above 500. LeBron, the ankle, a little jittery. We'll see how that affects him down the stretch. But you have to give the Lakers credit. They're playing good basketball right now. For the most part, they are.
Yeah, but I still feel like the Lakers are going to go as far as LeBron goes.
Got a good win on Friday night,
against
the Bucks.
They're starting to play a little bit better. The complimentary guards are starting to feel comfortable, but it's still all on LB and AD.
Yeah,
how hard and how much they want it.
Yeah. Now, I do feel good that the Kings have all the tiebreakers against the Lakers. I don't see LA being able to catch Sacramento at this point. The Kings are 4 games up in the loss column, but effectively make that 5 since they do own all tiebreakers.
And that's a good thing. They put themselves in a good position with LA, so I'm happy about that. At least that a team that's really trying to make a push and, be in contention with them. So, we know what New Orleans did to us, but I don't know if we're going to even be in a situation to battle with New Orleans.
Yeah.
And then, to be with LA and Phoenix, both of those teams are the ones that the Kings need to worry about when you start talking about those type of numbers.
Yeah, the Pelicans are in the 5 spot right now, a game and a half ahead of the Kings. But again, they own the tiebreaker, so they're essentially 2.5 ahead of the Pels.
And it can get done. It can be done.
It absolutely can. And the Kings do play New Orleans again,
right.
So they'll have a chance to make up a game.
It can be done.
Yep, no doubt. All right, when we come back, we'll focus in on Kings and Rockets, the matchup inside Sabonis and Sengun. As good as it can get in the NBA, almost. We'll talk about that and a lot more. Game night being brought to you by our good friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at nbofstockton.com. More game day right here. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Keep it here to Sacktown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan Murray scrambles to save it. He gives it now to Barnes. 1 on the clock. Desperate 3 on the way. He scores the triple. Game tied at 121 apiece. 17 for Barnes.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Your gas light's on. We need to fill up.
Gas around here is too expensive.
Don't drive all over searching for the lowest prices. Just download the free Upside app and get cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying gas? I'm stopping now to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. That's promo code GIFT.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Welcome back in the game day right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Our final segment as we get you ready for Kings Live pregame. That comes up at 2:30. Jason Ross with Henry with that. The G-Man will join them as well. The great Gary Jarrett will have the call today. 3 o'clock, Kings and Rockets, the final matchup of the regular season between these two teams. Houston will have this season series regardless. They won the first 2 back in Houston earlier in the year. Let's take a look at our injury report for today. It's brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm, providing justice for you since 1975. If you're injured, call the Arnold Law Firm at 916-777-7777. For the Kings, Davian Mitchell was listed as questionable with a chest injury, but he has been updated to available for today. So the Kings are fully healthy for this one today. The Rockets have good health as well. Steven Adams, who they traded for, of course, is out for the year with the knee injury. Let's see if he ever plays in a Rockets uniform. He's out, but otherwise, all the key players for the Rockets are here. So we're going to see both teams at full strength today, Henry.
Scooter, I thought you couldn't get traded if you was on the injured reserve.
Well, this goes back early in the year, so I would have to go back to that. But obviously, them and Memphis made the trade. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know all the rulings on that, but we could look that one up. I do know he's not playing today, though.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he ain't playing for the rest of the year.
But what I can tell you is the Sabonis will be matched up today against Alperen Sengun, and that would be a good matchup in the middle today.
That's going to be a great watch right there because both of those guys are playing at their very high peak. You know, it's one of those situations to where I really want to see how Sengun is going to be able to deal with the physicality that Sabonis brings on a nightly basis. But I'll tell you what, if it's going to go off the first 2 games, Alfred Sengun won that battle.
Yeah, no doubt. The Kings have something to prove today. There's no question about that. As we said, Sengun is, being compared to the younger version of a Joker, and that's the highest praise you can get in the middle. Sabonis, of course, it's just been the model of consistency. We've talked about it all season long, but it's just so true. As he continues to just rake up double-doubles. He's at 45 in a row now for Sacramento, 58 on the year, 22 triple-doubles, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 8.5 assists per game.
You know, the thing about this game here tonight, Scott, is that it's not going to make up for those 2 that we lost.
Nope.
But I'll tell you what, it should make the Sacramento Kings feel better if they can beat this basketball team on their home floor and say, okay, early on, we let things slide, but now we mean business. We on the push, and we can get those guys at our building.
And again, we hate to project forward because every time we do that, we sound kind of silly with the way the Kings have played this year. But if you look at the remainder of this home schedule, it's the Bucks on Tuesday, the Lakers on Wednesday, so you've got a back-to-back at home, and then you have the Knicks on Saturday. So again, on paper, which we just roll up and throw away, the Rockets feel like the game the Kings should get.
I don't even have the paper.
I understand. It's not worth it. It's not worth the paper we're writing it on.
To tell you that, but I know one thing for sure, Scott. This basketball team, almost every team in the West that's in the fight with us have had their run. They've had their run of 8 games, 10 games, 11 games to where they made the run. The Kings need their run.
Yeah,
we need to get on a heater and get our run so we can be where we're going to be in this playoff push. Because if we can't do that, I mean, I'm not saying still going 500 or playing as they've been playing won't get them there, but they need to get on that run to get some separation.
As we know, the Kings are going to have a lot of home games. Their home record right now just 17-11. It's not terrible, but it's not great either.
No, but you want to start having some home cooking.
Yeah.
You want to start having some dominance on this home floor. And really, Scott, you want to be playing some of your best basketball going into playoffs, because this is going to be a different type of playoff year. It's not going to be like it was last year where a bunch of teams are hurt, a bunch of teams got guys missing. You know, everybody is almost full-fledged and ready to go.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Dylan Brooks today. We know he's the instigator. We know he's a very physical player today. How do the Kings match up against that?
You know what? Don't let DB get up under your skin. That's when you let him win. If you let him bother you, if you let him get you, angry and try to get you to do something to go right back at him, he won.
Yep.
Just play your game, play hard. You know what? And try to flip the script on him. See if you can get him out of his character.
Yeah, you can't let it become mental against the Dylan Brooks for sure. And obviously Kevin Herter's going to see some time against him. Herter's been struggling of late after coming back on. Anything you've seen with Kevin?
Kevin's going to really have to dig deep into himself and say, okay, what am I going to be? Am I going to be a guy that everybody picks on, that everybody ISOs, that everybody goes at? Or am I going to be a guy that's going to be able to stay in front of somebody, that's going to be able to take some contact and then deliver out a hard foul if need be?
Yep, no doubt. And then if you're in the paint and you see Jalen Green coming 94 feet and he's about ready to rack it up, you want to get out of the way so you're not involved with that poster today.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, if you're a guy that can't get over the rim yourself, you might want to slide to the side.
All right, that's going to do it for Game Day. Henry, it's always great to work with you, and have a great call today.
Thank you very much.
All right, coming up next, it's Kings Live pregame. Jason Ross will be here. The Five Flyer stays. The G-Man joins. We've got you covered all afternoon long. Should be a fun one today from the Golden One Center. Kings and Rockets. It's Houston's only appearance of the year. The way the schedule worked out, only 3 times these two teams match up. 2 of them were in Houston. So our chance to see an up-and-coming Houston team, 28-35. They're not out of the play-in possibilities, just 5 games back of the Warriors at this point. For the Kings, trying to keep in a top 6 position as they continue their homestand. Kings basketball coming your way all afternoon long. Keep it tuned right here. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Keegan going for another trip.